From giant kings to ghoulish grim reapers,
Here are 27 bosses we'd like to see added into Minecraft.
the first mob on my list is a massive, terrifying warrior, the Returning Knight. They'd tower over all other creatures in Minecraft. The boss would have 300 HP and multiple different attack styles, all of which do extreme damage. The first is a summon ability called Children of the Grave, which summons multiple minions to fight you. On top of this, one is a healer, restoring any of the knight's lost health. Kill them first! Another attack is Obliterate, a massive ground slam that does a large amount of damage. This one is scary. His final attack is called the Eruption. If you see him gearing up with his weapon, run away. If too close, you'll be sent flying into the air. Defeat him, and you'll gain access to his awesome weapon, the Nightfall. Awesome! This weapon is so cool! Wait, is that a lizard?
Yes, it is. The Iguana King would be a terrifying boss found deep within jungle biomes. Their spawn point would be inside these Iguana King eggs, resting atop a nest. Break it with an axe, and the boss fight begins. Their main attack slams into the ground, causing tons of blocks to fly into the air. This is incredibly difficult to avoid. If I were you, I'd recommend wearing elytra while fighting the Iguana King. Manage to defeat one, and they drop 2 items. Their claws, which you can use as a weapon, and a block excavator, which can be activated via a lever to unearth the ground. This item alone makes this fight worth it to me.
Hey, look, it's a house! This may just look like a house, but it's so much more. Traverse down to its basement and you'll find the Deserted, a sand-based boss mob. They would have 150 HP, and in theory, wouldn't be too hard to defeat. The mob would be able to shoot fireballs at quick speeds, so I hope you've been doing your cardio recently. When fighting the Deserted, use water. This disables it momentarily, giving you time to rough it up. Kill it and it'll drop the sand bucket, a magical item which grants you the ability to fly. This is awesome! A whole new world! Huh? What's that down there?
This is the home of the Corrupted Champion. It has one of the coolest boss fight intros I've ever seen. Here, I'll show you. First, you place the boss's 3 bone staff pieces on these dark, corrupted deep slate blocks. After that, you'll have to pour a vial of blood into the center altar. And with that, the Corrupted Champion is summoned. It's beautiful and horrifying. The fight begins with skeletons falling from the sky, and it only gets worse from there. The Corrupted Champion has the ability to send deadly skulls at you. Avoid those at all costs. Manage to avoid the bony projectiles, and you might just live to see his levitation attack, which sends players into the air. Miss those, and you'll be met by his little minions.
Get me out of here! Say goodbye to graveyards and hello to lush caves, the new spawn point of the Void Blossom. They're a grotesque Venus flytrap-like boss mob, and they are not happy to see you. The Void Blossom shoots thorns out of the ground at high speeds, so make sure you jump as you traverse through their boss arena. As you jump, be looking for these bad boys. They're healing plants, and regenerate the big one's health. Remind you of someone? Destroy them, and the Void Blossom will be vulnerable to your attacks, but you're still vulnerable to theirs too. Like their green plant blasts, which send out waves of gnarly poison, or their petal power, which sends out flower petals in a diagonal line. Man, I wouldn't want to meet a boss like this in my game. Meet the Decaying King. Oh, nice to meet you, sir. They'd spawn in the Decaying Kingdom, a structure generated above lava lakes around Y level 32. This scary boss would have 800 HP and would sport 5 different attacks. Fire Barrage, where the Decaying King would shower you in fire, Sword Slam, a quick and dangerous move that can reduce your hearts in seconds, and Spin, which is exactly like it sounds. This guy will be super tough to fight, but trust me, it would be worth it. Kill him and he'll drop his sword, the Darkened Blade, his heart, and his Lord Soul. The Darkened Blade has a super unique design and would feature its own set of powers. Just like the Mutant Shulker, they're a living fortress and can withstand a high number of hits. The Mutant Shulker would be able to retreat into its shell, fully protecting itself and regenerating its health while doing so. Once it's out of its shell, get ready for its bite attack. It does 25 damage and can even disable your shield for 8 seconds. You can get your distance to avoid his bite, but then they'll just shoot you with their Mutant Shulker bullets. They're like regular Shulker bullets, but stronger and more erratic. This guy is so tough. I wish I had a box I could hide in.
This guy's an old champion. His name? The Old Champion. Yep, they'd be found in the Champion's Grave. The warrior has the looks of an upgraded skeleton, covered in ancient armor and wielding a sword and shield. To fight them, simply drop down into their domain and prepare for a battle. The Old Champion's combat style would be super simple. In fact, they only have 2 moves. Shield Bash, where they attempt to bash you with their shield, and Sword Thrust, where they... Yeah, I think you get the idea. You might be saying, this guy seems too easy. That's where you're wrong. Once they reach half health, they gain additional speed and strength, making them a truly formidable foe. Would you want to fight the Old Champion in Minecraft?
Or the Dame Fortuna? They may look harmless, but they're anything but. They fly above the ground and would be an extremely difficult boss to face. It's recommended you fight them with enchanted diamond armor, and here's why. It's homing missile cubes, which are red objects that are quick and track you with ease. They're clamp traps extremely similar to Evoker Fangs, or a more wide area of effect attack, where Dame Fortuna casts out a large amount of its red cubes at you. Don't mess with this one. Grab your jackets, because this next mob would be found in cold biomes. Meet the Night Lich, an undead flying wizard ready to take you down. It possesses the uncanny ability ability to turn day to night, but its powers don't stop there. It can summon phantoms to do its bidding and shoot deadly projectiles in your direction. Keep your distance and have a healthy supply of arrows, and you might just defeat this bony boss. If so, you'll be rewarded with tons of enchanted books. Sweet! Gonna take these and put them back in my base. Oh no. Everyone, meet the Ender Guardian. This gargantuan guy would be another formidable foe in the End Dimension, found in End Cities. Watch out for their primary melee attack, the Ground Slam, or their Uppercut, which does more damage than the previous attack, but is also slower. But don't worry, that's it. Huh? What's that? Oh, that's not it? Okay. The Ender Guardian would also be able to shoot out waves of shulker bullets, inflicting damage and sending you into the air. Ah! Put me down! Oh, hello, Your Majesty. This is the king. He is royalty, so he'd be found in his own castle. To make it to him, you'll first have to fight through a swarm of guards. After this, the fight with Your Majesty begins. The king will swing their large weapons at the player, as well as summon bookshelves which shoot books. He can also manipulate the battle arena, removing any additional blocks you place down. That means barricades won't block his attacks. If you see him taking damage at his throne, run away because of this. Once he's defeated, he'll drop his crown. While worn, 2 guards will protect you. Don't you wish the Nether was more difficult? No, absolutely not. Say you want it to be more difficult. Who are you? That's classified. The Lava Scorpion would be a creepy, crawly, pincer-based mob found roaming the Nether Wastes. They'd be a mini-boss, but don't let that title fool you. They're still super powerful. The Lava Scorpion's main attack would be a fire projectile, which they can hurl at you in quick succession. I'd recommend fighting this guy with a shield. The next mob on our list is super freaky. The terrifying Queen Bee. They'd spawn in and nearby flower forests. The boss would use her massive stinger to damage you and any other players. Try and avoid that at all costs. She is a Queen Bee though, so her main strategy would be sending her minions after you. They would be summoned almost constantly, making her boss fight beyond chaotic. Defeat her, and she'll explode into a pile of honey. I think I could take on the Queen Bee. What about you? This next boss is asleep by default, but let's wake him up. This is the Idol, an all-knowing, all-powerful golden cube. He'll fly around his arena and attempt to do damage by crashing into you. And don't think you can get too far, since he'll just teleport close to your location. The Idol would also be able to make clones of itself, the only difference being a blue eye. They'll also send Evoker Fangs your way. Make it through this round, and you'll have to deal with more clones. But this time, they're identical to the original. They don't attack you, but they make it a lot harder to find the OG. On top of this, the Idol will also spawn Idol bombs, clones of him with a red eye. Get too close to them, and they explode. Man, this is chaos!
I am chaos.
More specifically, the Monarch of Chaos. They'd be a giant royal skeleton wielding a staff. Their name is very accurate. Why? Because this is the most chaotic boss fight I have ever seen. Here's a brief list of some of their powers. Large amounts of extremely deadly lightning, tons of fast-moving projectiles that are super hard to avoid, massive explosions emanating from their body that coat the ground with Ender Dragon fire breath, and weirdly enough, the ability to send aggressive mobs barreling your way, including Big Chungus. This is one of the weirdest bosses I've ever fought. The Ender Golem would be a hulking end mob located inside their very own structure. Get past the hordes of Endermap Terra, and you'll find yourself inside the monster's arena. They have a killer left hook, and will use you as a practice dummy whenever they get the chance. They also have a devastating slam attack, knocking the wind out of you and taking ample health in the process. My favorite attack of theirs is the Void Rune, which shoots out magical end blocks from the ground. They look super pretty, and also mess you up. Take them out, and you'll even get the Void Rune weapon for yourself. That's so awesome! Huh? What is this strange structure? It's the home to the next boss on our list, the Obsidiolith. It may not look like your average boss, but trust me, it packs a punch. It does so through elemental attacks. Look for these runes on the ground. It means the Obsidiolith is about to strike. As you enter the next phase of the boss fight, they'll spawn multiple smaller obelisks around the arena. They give the boss a great protective shield, so destroy them if you want to kill the big one. And don't get too cozy with the idea of the boss not moving. Occasionally, they teleport into the air and try to body slam you. The Ignited Revenant would be a distant cousin to the Blaze, but would be much more dangerous. Just gonna try and sneak past them. Almost there. Ah! The boss mob would have a close-range spinning attack, which could deal multiple hits in a few seconds. Or Ashen Breath, a ranged attack that would deal damage and blind players. If that wasn't metal enough, their final attack would be the Bone Storm, which would, as the name suggests, shoot bones at you. Sick. One thing I love in Minecraft is biome-specific mobs. That's why I'd love to see the Frost Giant added into Minecraft. They'd be a mini-boss designed specifically for colder biomes, most often spawning in ice spikes. They're most similar to vanilla zombies, but are much more powerful. The Frost Giants have a powerful ground slam attack, inflicting damage and permafrost. Their design is great, and I want them in the game. Ah! Why am I on fire?
That would be my doing, little one.
This is the Daystalker, a massive godlike boss. They may look intimidating, but that's because they are. Get too close and the Daystalker will take advantage of their impressive sword skills. Get too far away though, and you'll learn this boss's true strength. They can throw a variety of fire attacks at you, some from their blade, others conjured by their mind. Some attacks will even explode on impact, creating massive craters. This is one of the toughest bosses on the list. Are you up for the challenge? Behold, the true heir to the seas, the Drowned King. They'd be a boss found in ocean biomes, and they wouldn't be pretty, both because of their face and the massive trident sticking out of their chest. They possess dark magic. With it, they can teleport freely. To make matters worse, the Drowned King can summon Drown, doing his bidding and making the fight more chaotic for the player. And booyah! Finally defeated that guy. Ah! This next one, you'll have to see to believe. It's the Eye, a giant eye vendor that isn't too happy to see you. Okay, sorry, I'll stop. They'll fly around above you, occasionally shooting out a laser beam similar to Guardian. The only way to stop it momentarily is to damage the eye with a bow. So get shooting. As you damage it more, the eye will begin to clone itself. You better have good aim, because the only way you're gonna survive this one is by shooting on target. I like the Eye. I'd love to see what you think in the comments down below. This is the End Sentinel, an ancient mob used by the ancient builders to protect End cities. They've long been abandoned, but many can still be found throughout the End. They're a ranged mob, so you won't have to worry about any close-range melee attacks. Long range is a different story though. The Endstone Sentinel will shoot ender shots, which make you levitate. By default, they don't move, but will occasionally teleport on top of the nearest player. They may not seem too interesting, but their drops are, like the Void Pearl, an upgraded version of the Ender Pearl with 300 uses, or the End Porter, which pulls nearby mobs into the area you right-click. But it wouldn't affect this guy. He's Swampjaw, a skeletal fish boss mob found in the swamps of the overworld. They like to play a classic game of catch. And by classic game of catch, I mean dropping explosive sea mines onto your head. What, is that not the kind of catch you guys play? You'll have to avoid the bombs at all costs, but they don't drop too fast. And since they're a high-flying mob, a bow would be best at fighting it. You might need to do the same for this next one. It's the Bell Ringer, a spooky, faceless flying mob. They'd wield a magical bell and would use it to hug blue cubes at you. The cubes fly quickly, but in the same pattern, so you can dodge them if you jump at the right time. I love this. It's a weird mix between boss fight and parkour, resulting in a lot of fun. It's like jump rope, if the jump rope could kill you. The Arclight Angel would be an ethereal being sent from the ether. They've been corrupted, and with that, attack any player on sight. The angel would fly high above you, sending shulker bullets and occasionally flying down to hit you. They would sport large amounts of health and would be difficult to strike. Which mob is your favorite? Let me know. Bye!